showed some pictures up there that I didn't even know you had to look at. He went all the way back. And as they say back in the old days, the troglodyte days, where people went way back in the woods and dug up stuff that you forgot. I'm 73. When I looked up there, I said, oh my God, you got everything. He didn't leave no stone unturned. I remember the day that Chandlerville called me and she said, I was a greeter at the church before I took on Juneteenth. Because when you go to church, people, I'm gonna make it short, when you go to church and you meet people, some people be having a bad day when they come, so they want to see a smiling face, and that's what I like about your organization. It really, you know, it really did. I'm so happy I'm telling you the truth. My heart's bubbling over. But I was a greeter at the church, and that particular Sunday morning at 5:30, Chandlerville called me and she said, Brenda, I said, what? She said, Miss Oakley is coming here, and I said, who is that? She said, historians that getting signatures for Juneteenth to be a national holiday, and I said, Juneteenth, what is that? And she said, it's the emancipation of freedom, and I said, what? I said, you know what, I've never celebrated the 4th of July because I knew it was life. And she said, yeah, she said, she's coming in tomorrow and we need you to do a 3-day march in 2 days. And I said, oh my God. She said, I know you can do it because I don't know anybody else that would grab a bull by the horn and salute him. And I said, okay, let me call the church and tell them I won't be there this morning. I did not know that all that one little phone call would run, that was in 2016, all the way up to 2025. Jimmy Pope was Juneteenth director for the state of Alabama for 17 years, and no one knew it. I didn't even know it until I did. Dr. Ronald Myers was the one that petitioned legislation 32 years ago that Juneteenth would be more than just a household name. He proved to the House of Representatives and the Senate that June 19th was official Freedom Day. And 2 years after, when he called them, Jimmy Pope passed and I became director. Dr. Ron Myers called me and he said, I want you to be the director. I said, I got my baby that's refuge in troubled times. I ain't picking up nobody else's baby. Feeding the baby with my baby's milk. And he said, you know, that's what our Charles Fields told us to say. Because we have our babies that we got to raise, and then you talk about taking a little bit and giving it to another baby. Our babies is going to go back. And so I said no. He said, well, we're going to pray about it for 30 days. And I said, you can pray all you want, I ain't taking. Little did you know, 30 days later, on May 31st, 2016, he called me up at 3 a.m. in the morning. He said, the Lord says yours, bye, click, hung up. He did not pick up the phone for me anymore. That's the truth. He did not talk to me. Everything he did was email, and I said, you better pick up this phone because I'm not doing no Juneteenth on June 19th. And he said, yes, you will. And sure enough, I did. I didn't know what to do, but it all turned out to be real good, and I was so excited about it. And each year got good.